In the depths of winter, February 2008, a grisly discovery shattered the quiet morning at Overton Park in Memphis, Tennessee. The lifeless body of 17-year-old Brianna Evans, a promising high school senior with dreams as vibrant as her spirit, lay partially submerged in the frigid waters of a creek, her future eternally silenced. The discovery would unravel a web of manipulation, abuse of power, and ultimately murder that had been festering within the walls of Fraser High School. What began as a typical school year in August 2007 would spiral into a nightmare that would forever change the lives of everyone involved. The story that unfolded would expose how trust could be weaponized, how authority could be perverted, and how a respected figure in the community could harbor such darkness beneath his carefully constructed facade. Welcome to True Crime Stories Archive, your gateway to the chilling world of real-life horror. Here, we delve into the darkest corners of humanity, unearthing terrifying stories of true crime that will leave you sleeping with the lights on. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and join our community of true crime enthusiasts as we explore this haunting tale of betrayal and justice. The story begins at Fraser High School, situated at 1530 Delwood Avenue in Memphis, Tennessee. The institution stood as a beacon of athletic excellence, its football team, the Memphis Grizzlies, having achieved unprecedented success under the leadership of head coach Darius, Coach D. Johnson. At 38 years old, Johnson had crafted an image of himself as the quintessential mentor, a molder of young minds and bodies, a figure whom parents trusted with their children's futures. Johnson's path to his position was paved with athletic glory. From 1987 to 1991, he dominated the field as a starting linebacker for the University of Tennessee, earning All-SEC honors in both his junior and senior years. His promising professional career with the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad was cut short by a knee injury in 1992, a twist of fate that would redirect his life toward education and coaching. After completing his master's in physical education at the University of Memphis in 1994, Johnson methodically built his coaching career through various Memphis schools, finally securing the coveted position of head coach at Fraser High in 2003. His reputation seemed impeccable, residing at 2847 Oak Ridge Drive with his wife Sharon, a successful real estate agent, and their two children, 12-year-old Marcus and 9-year-old Alexis. The family portrait painted a picture of suburban perfection, masking the darkness that lurked beneath. Johnson's coaching record spoke volumes. An impressive 42-8 over 4 seasons with 2 district championships under his belt. His influence extended beyond the field, securing over $500,000 in athletic scholarships for his players between 2003 and 2007. The Memphis School Board even bestowed upon him their Excellence in Leadership Award in 2006, a recognition that would later cast a bitter shadow over the institution's judgment. Into this world stepped Brianna Evans, a 17-year-old senior whose life embodied the American dream of upward mobility through hard work and determination. Living with her mother Vanessa at 1756 Cypress Lane in Fraser's working-class neighborhood, Brianna maintained an exceptional 3.8 GPA while leading the cheerleading squad. Her academic achievements had already secured her early admission to Tennessee State University's journalism program with a partial academic scholarship. Brianna's accomplishments were even more remarkable considering her family's circumstances. Her mother Vanessa worked punishing double shifts at Methodist North Hospital as a nursing assistant, earning a modest $31,000 annually to support their household. Despite these financial constraints, Brianna flourished, maintaining perfect attendance, serving as president of the school newspaper, and earning recognition in the National Honor Society. The facade of normalcy began to crack in September 2007, when the relationship between Johnson and Brianna underwent a sinister transformation. Security footage from the school gymnasium would later reveal a disturbing pattern: 27 documented interactions between them after official practice hours, taking place between September 1st and October 15th. School records painted an even more troubling picture, showing Johnson signing Brianna out of study hall for supposed athletic department meetings with alarming frequency. 14 times in just 6 weeks. The predatory nature of their contact escalated beyond school grounds in October 2007. The first documented off-campus meeting occurred on October 12, when surveillance cameras at the Wolfchase Galleria parking lot captured Brianna entering Johnson's black 2006 Ford Explorer at 7:45 p.m., a moment that would later be recognized as a critical turning point in the investigation. As the weeks progressed, multiple staff members noticed concerning patterns in both Brianna's and Johnson's behavior. Sarah Martinez, the school guidance counselor, documented 3 separate instances where Brianna appeared visibly distressed during counseling sessions, though she consistently refused to discuss the source of her troubles. Physical education teacher Robert Thompson observed Johnson's vehicle suspiciously parked near the cheerleading practice area after hours on multiple occasions, documenting these observations in his personal log but tragically never elevating his concerns to official channels. The changes in Brianna's behavior became increasingly apparent to those closest to her. Jamal Carter, a senior wide receiver ranked 3rd in the state for receptions and someone who had known Brianna since 9th grade, noticed her personality transforming dramatically in October 2007. Her once predictable routine began to unravel. Her absence felt at 5 weekend study groups, while her regular attendance at weekly church youth group meetings ceased entirely. When questioned about her whereabouts, she became evasive, a stark departure from her typically open nature. On November 3, 2007, the situation reached a critical point when Carter, driven by growing concern, confronted Brianna outside the school cafeteria about the circulating rumors regarding her relationship with Johnson. Surveillance footage captured this tense moment, showing an agitated Brianna dismissively brushing off Carter's concerns before hastily departing the area, her body language speaking volumes about her internal turmoil. By late November 2007, the inappropriate relationship had become an open secret within the school community. Assistant Principal Michael Davidson's administrative log contained 3 separate documented instances of students reporting uncomfortable interactions between Johnson and Brianna. Yet, in a decision that would later lead to his resignation and prompt a complete overhaul of the school's reporting procedures, no formal investigation was initiated. The situation took an even darker turn on January 15, 2008. Security cameras at the Walgreens store at 3655 North Watkins Street in Memphis captured Brianna, still in her Fraser High School cheerleading uniform, purchasing a pregnancy test at 4:27 p.m. The cashier, Maria Rodriguez, would later recall Brianna's palpable anxiety during the transaction, noting how she paid in cash and appeared visibly distressed. The following day, medical records from Memphis Women's Clinic confirmed what Brianna had likely already suspected: she was approximately 6 weeks pregnant. Dr. Patricia Chin's documentation noted elevated blood pressure and clear signs of emotional distress during the initial visit. Tellingly, the clinic's intake forms listed, undisclosed, under the father's information section. The confrontation that followed on January 17, 2008, in the school athletic office would prove to be a pivotal moment. Security cameras recorded Brianna entering the office at 5:45 p.m. after basketball practice. While the security system didn't capture audio, the heated exchange was partially witnessed by janitor Frank Martinez, who documented in his maintenance log what he described as a heated discussion in the coach's office at approximately 6 p.m. Digital evidence later recovered from Brianna's iPhone revealed the true nature of this confrontation. Johnson had demanded she terminate the pregnancy, offering to handle both the arrangements and costs. The explicit nature of their text exchange painted a clear picture of coercion and manipulation, with Johnson's message at 7:13 p.m. leaving no room for discussion about his intentions. The following day, January 18, 2008, Johnson withdrew $1,500 from Regions Bank on Fraser Boulevard, an amount investigators would later confirm matched the typical cost of termination services at local clinics. This money, however, was never accepted by Brianna, who remained resolute in her stance despite mounting pressure. Meanwhile, at Methodist North Hospital, Vanessa Evans worked her night shifts, unknowingly documenting her growing concerns about her daughter's changing behavior in her personal diary. Her mid-January entries noted troubling observations: Brianna's frequent morning sickness, dramatic mood swings, and unusual eating patterns. The truth would finally begin to surface on January 20, 2008, when Vanessa discovered prenatal vitamins hidden in Brianna's bathroom cabinet, purchased from CVS Pharmacy on Thomas Street. The strain of the situation began to manifest in Brianna's academic performance. Her previously perfect attendance record started showing cracks between January 15 and February 1, 2008, with 3 absences and 5 late arrivals marring her record. The school nurse's log contained 2 visits from Brianna during this period, with complaints of nausea and fatigue that now took on a darker significance. It was during this time that Tasha Williams, a fellow cheerleader and Brianna's closest confidant since sophomore year, became privy to the full extent of the situation. During cheer practice on January 22, 2008, Brianna finally revealed her pregnancy to Williams. Williams' personal diary, later submitted as crucial evidence, detailed both Brianna's emotional state and her unwavering determination to keep the child, despite Johnson's escalating pressure. Jamal Carter's continued attempts to support Brianna during this period were captured through text messages and surveillance footage. On January 25, 2008, security cameras recorded their 45-minute conversation in the school parking lot, where Carter observed Brianna's deteriorating physical condition but was met with steadfast refusal to involve school administrators or her mother. The pressure was taking its toll on Johnson's home life as well. His wife Sharon's credit card statements revealed increased alcohol purchases from local liquor stores. Their daughter Alexis's therapy sessions began noting increasing tension during family dinners, with her father frequently absent or distracted. By early February 2008, Brianna had meticulously documented her relationship with Johnson, compiling evidence that would later prove crucial. Her iPhone notes, recovered through digital forensics, listed dates, times, and locations of 23 separate meetings between September 2007 and January 2008. This documentation would later serve as a damning timeline of predation and abuse. The situation reached a critical breaking point on February 3, 2008, when Brianna sent Johnson what would become a fateful ultimatum via text message. Her message was clear and desperate. She could no longer maintain the secrecy of her condition and demanded his cooperation in revealing the truth. Johnson's response came not through text, but during a confrontation in the school gymnasium after hours. Though no audio exists of this encounter, security footage captured Johnson making an aggressive gesture before storming out, leaving a visibly shaken Brianna behind. Throughout early February 2008, Johnson's behavior at Fraser High School began to unravel dramatically. Security footage from February 4 through February 18 revealed an increasingly paranoid pattern, with Johnson obsessively monitoring the main hallway during class changes, particularly focusing on the area near Brianna's locker. His unprecedented appearances at cheerleading practices, which he had never before attended, drew attention from staff members. Cell phone records would later show Johnson made an astounding 47 calls to Brianna between February 1 and 15, 2008, many during school hours. Further evidence of Johnson's deteriorating state emerged through his computer records, which showed he had deliberately rearranged his preparation periods to coincide with Brianna's lunch breaks and study halls. The facade of his personal life began crumbling as well. On February 12, 2008, his wife Sharon made a disturbing discovery at Memphis Credit Union on Summer Avenue. Unauthorized access to their joint account revealed $5,000 withdrawn in cash over the previous 2 weeks. When confronted, Johnson fabricated a story about purchasing new football equipment, though no corresponding purchase orders were ever filed with the school's athletic department. The situation escalated dramatically on February 17, 2008. At approximately 3:45 p.m., Jamal Carter inadvertently overheard a heated exchange while retrieving equipment from the gymnasium storage room. Security footage captured Johnson and Brianna in an intense confrontation near the emergency exit. The following day proved pivotal when Carter finally confronted Brianna in the school parking lot. During their 30-minute conversation, captured by surveillance cameras, Brianna finally revealed both the relationship and her pregnancy, providing Carter with text message evidence that would later become crucial to the investigation. Johnson's desperate attempts to silence Brianna intensified on February 20, 2008. ATM records documented him withdrawing $2,500 from First Tennessee Bank on Highland Street at 7:15 a.m. Later that day, security cameras captured a meeting between Johnson and Brianna behind the school gymnasium at 3:30 p.m. Unknown to Johnson, Brianna had begun recording their interactions. The recovered audio file would later reveal Johnson attempting to buy her silence with offers to pay for her college tuition and living expenses. The truth finally began to surface in the Evans household on February 22, 2008. While cleaning Brianna's room, Vanessa Evans discovered the hidden positive pregnancy test in a sock drawer. The shock of this discovery sent her to Methodist North Hospital's emergency room that evening with dangerously elevated blood pressure. The attending nurse documented both Vanessa's physical distress and her emotional devastation upon learning of her daughter's pregnancy. A confrontation between mother and daughter erupted at 11:45 p.m. when Vanessa returned home. Neighbors at 1754 and 1758 Cypress Lane reported hearing raised voices as Vanessa desperately tried to learn the identity of the father. After 2 hours of intense discussion, Vanessa contacted Brianna's grandfather, James Evans, at 2:15 a.m. By 9:30 a.m. on February 23, Vanessa had contacted Fraser High School to initiate withdrawal procedures for Brianna, though these would never be completed due to the tragic events that followed. The discovery sent Johnson into a spiral of paranoid behavior. Security footage showed him pacing anxiously in the school parking lot on February 23, making multiple calls. His mounting desperation was evident in his purchase of a prepaid phone from Walmart on Winchester Road at 7:45 p.m. that evening. By February 24, 2008, the situation had reached a critical point. Brianna made 2 calls to the school board's ethics hotline, though she terminated both before speaking. Meanwhile, security cameras captured Johnson following Brianna's car after school for 3 consecutive days, his behavior growing increasingly erratic. On the fateful evening of February 25, 2008, at 6:42 p.m., Brianna Evans sent what would be her final text message to Darius Johnson, arranging a meeting at Overton Park. Cell tower data would later confirm both their phones were near the park's east entrance at 7:15 p.m. In a chilling display of foresight, Brianna sent a message to Tasha Williams at 6:55 p.m., detailing her planned meeting location near Rainbow Lake Bridge and requesting help if she didn't make contact by 8:30 p.m. The final movements of both individuals were meticulously documented by various surveillance systems. Security cameras at the East Parkway entrance captured Johnson's black Ford Explorer entering the park at 7:12 p.m., followed by Brianna's silver Honda Civic 3 minutes later. 2 joggers, later identified as Michael Reynolds and Sarah Cooper, reported seeing Brianna walking toward Rainbow Lake at approximately 7:20 p.m. At 7:23 p.m., Brianna activated her phone's voice recording application, unknowingly capturing her final moments. The partially damaged audio file recovered by investigators revealed Brianna confronting Johnson about acknowledging the pregnancy and threatening to expose their relationship to school authorities. Johnson's voice became increasingly aggressive, with his final audible words carrying a sinister threat about protecting everything he had built. Park surveillance cameras, though distant, captured 2 figures near Rainbow Lake Bridge at 7:35 p.m. Forensic analysis of the footage showed a physical altercation beginning at 7:38 p.m. The medical examiner's report would later confirm that Brianna sustained a severe blow to the left side of her face, consistent with the video footage showing a striking motion. The crime scene told a horrific story through its physical evidence. Soil evidence collected from the scene indicated a desperate struggle covering approximately 15 square feet. Brianna's fingernails contained Johnson's DNA and fibers from his Letterman jacket, while her iPhone, recovered from the creek bed, showed impact damage consistent with being forcefully struck against the ground. The medical examiner's report, conducted by Dr. James Martinez, revealed the brutal nature of Brianna's final moments. The cause of death was determined to be manual strangulation, with petechial hemorrhaging in her eyes and distinct bruising patterns on her neck indicating a prolonged attack lasting between 3 to 5 minutes. The time of death was estimated between 7:45 p.m. and 8 p.m. Johnson's movements following the murder were reconstructed through various surveillance systems. His vehicle was captured exiting Overton Park at 8:17 p.m., running a red light at Poplar Avenue and East Parkway. Traffic cameras tracked his Explorer traveling west on Summer Avenue at excessive speed at 8:23 p.m. Home security footage from the Johnson residence at 2847 Oak Ridge Drive showed him arriving at 8:45 p.m., with motion sensors recording suspicious activity in the garage for approximately 20 minutes. Sharon Johnson later testified that Darius entered through the laundry room and immediately began washing clothes, an attempt to destroy evidence that would later prove crucial to the case. Their water utility records showed unusual usage between 8:50 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. As the evening progressed, concern for Brianna's safety began to mount. At 9:15 p.m., Tasha Williams, having received no response from Brianna, began calling her phone repeatedly. After 20 minutes of failed attempts, she contacted Jamal Carter, who made 8 unsuccessful calls to Brianna's phone between 9:40 p.m. and 10 p.m. Vanessa Evans, returning from her nursing shift at 10:30 p.m., discovered Brianna's empty room and began a frantic search for her daughter. Security footage from Methodist North Hospital showed her leaving work early after receiving no response from Brianna. By 11:15 p.m., Vanessa had filed a missing person report with the Memphis Police Department. Officer Thomas Rodriguez, responding to the missing person report, carefully documented Vanessa's statement about Brianna's pregnancy and recent erratic behavior. At 11:45 p.m., Jamal Carter contacted the police, providing crucial information about Brianna's planned meeting with Johnson. This information prompted the Memphis Police Department to initiate a search of Overton Park, with security footage showing 3 patrol cars entering the park at 12:17 a.m. Officer Sarah Martinez's body camera captured the initial discovery of drag marks near Rainbow Lake Bridge at 12:45 a.m., a grim harbinger of what would be found the following morning. On February 26, 2008, at 6:17 a.m., Michael Roberts, a regular jogger at Overton Park, made the devastating discovery of Brianna Evans's body partially submerged in the creek near Rainbow Lake Bridge. The Memphis Police Department's Homicide Division, led by Detective James Martinez and Detective Sarah Thompson, arrived on scene at 6:45 a.m. The crime scene investigation, conducted over 12 painstaking hours, yielded crucial evidence. CSI technicians documented drag marks extending 27 feet from the bridge to the creek. Brianna's belongings were scattered along this tragic path: a shoe at the bridge, her phone 15 feet downstream, and her school ID badge near her body. Blood spatter analysis indicated the initial assault occurred on the bridge. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, chief medical examiner for Shelby County, conducted the autopsy at 2 p.m. Her comprehensive report detailed the brutality of the attack: manual strangulation, defensive wounds on hands and forearms, bruising consistent with finger marks on the neck, petechial hemorrhaging in the eyes, blunt force trauma to the left cheek, and dirt and grass stains on clothing. DNA evidence under Brianna's fingernails would later prove crucial in securing a conviction. The investigation gained momentum when Jamal Carter voluntarily appeared at the Memphis Police Department's Central Precinct at 9:30 a.m. During his 4-hour interview with detectives, Carter provided vital information about the relationship between Brianna and Coach Johnson. He surrendered his phone, which contained text messages from Brianna dating back to January 2008, documenting her growing fears about Johnson's increasingly controlling behavior. At 2:15 p.m. that same day, Tasha Williams arrived at the precinct accompanied by her parents. Her testimony corroborated Carter's account and provided additional crucial evidence, including voice recordings Brianna had shared, screenshots of threatening text messages from Johnson, details about the pregnancy, and information about the planned meeting at Overton Park. Digital forensics specialists meticulously recovered data from Brianna's damaged iPhone, found 100 yards downstream from the crime scene. The phone yielded damning evidence: 247 text messages between Brianna and Johnson, voice recordings of their conversations, location data showing their meeting spots, and a final voice recording from the night of the murder. At 4:30 p.m., Detectives Martinez and Thompson brought Darius Johnson in for questioning at Central Precinct. During the 3-hour interrogation, Johnson attempted to establish an alibi, claiming he was home with his family during the time of the murder. However, surveillance footage from Overton Park clearly showed his Ford Explorer entering at 7:12 p.m. and leaving at 8:17 p.m. His wife Sharon, interviewed separately at their home, unknowingly destroyed his alibi by confirming his arrival at home around 8:45 p.m., describing him as agitated and immediately washing his clothes. The forensic evidence mounted quickly and irrefutably. Investigators found Johnson's DNA under Brianna's fingernails, soil from the crime scene matching samples from his vehicle, fibers from his Letterman jacket on Brianna's clothing, his fingerprints on her phone case, and traffic camera footage tracking his vehicle's movements. Cell tower data placed his phone at Overton Park during the critical time period. On February 27, crime scene investigators discovered additional incriminating evidence in a dumpster behind Fraser High School: torn pages from Johnson's personal planner showing meetings with Brianna, a prepaid phone containing messages between them, and cash withdrawal receipts totaling $7,500. The Memphis Police Department's forensic lab processed Johnson's vehicle on February 28, uncovering more damning evidence: traces of Brianna's blood on the cargo area floor mat, soil samples matching the creek bank, a torn piece of Brianna's jacket caught in the trunk hinge, and grass and mud consistent with Overton Park vegetation. By March 1, 2008, investigators had assembled an airtight timeline of events, supported by physical evidence, digital records, and witness testimony. After reviewing the comprehensive case file, District Attorney Robert Thompson authorized first-degree murder charges against Darius Johnson. On March 15, 2008, the Shelby County District Attorney's Office formally charged Johnson with first-degree murder, statutory rape, tampering with evidence, and abuse of authority in a school setting. His arrest at his residence drew extensive media coverage, with all major Memphis networks broadcasting his surrender to authorities at 7:30 a.m. The trial began on June 2, 2008, at the Shelby County Criminal Court, with Judge Michael Anderson presiding. Such was the public interest that proceedings had to be moved to the largest courtroom, with over 200 spectators attending daily. The prosecution team, led by District Attorney Robert Thompson, presented their case over 2 weeks, calling 27 witnesses including forensics experts, police investigators, school staff, students, medical professionals, and digital forensics specialists. A pivotal moment came on June 5 when Sharon Johnson took the stand, describing her husband's suspicious behavior the night of the murder, his agitated state upon arriving home at 8:45 p.m., immediately washing clothes, showering for 45 minutes, and refusing to discuss his whereabouts. The defense team, headed by prominent attorney Marcus Williams, attempted to portray the relationship as consensual and Brianna's death as accidental. This strategy sparked outrage and protests outside the courthouse, with women's rights groups and student safety advocates maintaining daily vigils. On June 8, Vanessa Evans delivered emotionally charged testimony about discovering her daughter's pregnancy and their final confrontation. Following her court appearance, she established Brianna's Voice, an advocacy organization dedicated to student protection and abuse prevention in schools, transforming her personal tragedy into a mission for change. Jamal Carter's June 10 testimony proved instrumental, providing detailed accounts of witnessing arguments between Johnson and Brianna, presenting text messages showing her escalating fear, and recounting conversations where she revealed both the pregnancy and Johnson's threats. The prosecution's forensics presentation on June 12 systematically dismantled the defense's accident claim. The evidence was overwhelming: DNA analysis, blood spatter patterns, cell phone records, surveillance footage, and the medical examiner's findings all pointed to a deliberate, premeditated homicide. After 6 hours of deliberation on June 20, 2008, the jury returned with guilty verdicts on all counts. The sentencing hearing on July 1 brought additional revelations as 3 former students from Johnson's previous coaching positions testified about similar inappropriate approaches he had made toward them. Judge Anderson delivered the sentence on July 2, life imprisonment for first-degree murder, 15 years for statutory rape, 5 years for evidence tampering, and 5 years for abuse of authority, with all sentences to run consecutively. The aftermath triggered widespread institutional changes. Fraser High School suspended all athletic programs for the 2008 to 2009 academic year. Principal Thomas Anderson resigned, and the school board implemented comprehensive reforms, mandatory reporting training for all staff, enhanced security protocols, and strengthened student protection policies. Sharon Johnson filed for divorce on July 15, 2008, relocating to Nashville with their children. Court records show she was granted full custody and restored to her maiden name, Sharon Mitchell. Vanessa Evans's advocacy work expanded to include speaking engagements at schools nationwide, consulting on educational policy reform, and establishing student safety programs. By 2010, Brianna's voice had opened offices in 3 states, focusing on preventing abuse of authority in educational settings. Jamal Carter, deeply affected by guilt over not reporting earlier, became an advocate for student safety, establishing a peer support program at Tennessee State University to train students in recognizing and reporting suspicious behavior. The case of Brianna Evans stands as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of abuse of power and the critical importance of speaking up when witnessing concerning behavior. Her tragic story has catalyzed significant changes in how schools handle relationships between authority figures and students, ensuring her legacy continues to protect future generations. The tragic story of Brianna Evans continues to serve as a powerful reminder that predators can hide behind positions of authority. If you've been moved by this story, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to True Crime Stories Archive for more in-depth coverage of cases that matter. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you witnessed similar warning signs in your community? What do you think schools can do to better protect their students? Your perspective could help raise awareness and potentially save lives. If you know someone who works in education or has teenage children, share this video with them. The more we spread awareness about these issues, the better equipped we are to prevent similar tragedies. Remember, if you suspect inappropriate behavior between a person of authority and a minor, don't stay silent. Contact your local authorities or call the National Child Abuse Hotline. Sometimes, speaking up can be the difference between life and death. Thank you for watching this episode of True Crime Stories Archive. Join us next week as we delve into another case that needs to be told.